At some point, I will make a major donation after all of the smoke and ashes have settled here and we figure out what the rebuilding is going to look like. This is going to be a long and difficult.
Have created the People's Fund of Maui that will put money directly in the hands of the people who need it right now. So if you send a donation, just click where you see.
Recently, the idyllic island of Maui has faced an unparalleled challenge with the ravaging wildfires, leaving a trail of devastation in their wake. Beyond the charred landscapes and destroyed properties, the heart and spirit of the community have been deeply affected. As the island grapples with the aftermath, two of the world's most recognizable figures, Oprah Winfrey and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, have stepped forward. With deep connections to the island and its residents, they have embarked on a significant initiative to extend support and assistance to those impacted. This collaboration not only underscores the gravity of the situation, but also shines a light on the power of collective efforts in the face of adversity. In the wake of the devastating Maui wildfires, two of the most influential figures in the entertainment industry, Oprah Winfrey and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, stepped forward with a noble initiative. Recognizing the immediate need for assistance, they launched the People's Fund of Maui. This fund was not just another charitable endeavor, it was a commitment, a pledge to stand by the side of those who had lost everything. The primary objective of the fund was clear: to provide financial aid to the victims of the disaster. But what set this initiative apart was its promise of direct assistance. Instead of getting entangled in bureaucratic processes or administrative delays, the People's Fund of Maui aimed to ensure that the money reached the hands of those who needed it most, and swiftly. This direct approach was intended to provide immediate relief to affected families, helping them rebuild their lives and homes. Both Oprah and The Rock emphasized the importance of community and solidarity during these trying times. Their collaboration on this fund showcased their commitment to making a tangible difference. By leveraging their vast resources and influence, they hoped to inspire others to contribute and support the cause, ensuring that the residents of Maui would not face the aftermath of the disaster alone. As the dust settled and the initial shock of the Maui wildfires began to wane, the public started to scrutinize the effectiveness of the relief efforts, particularly those spearheaded by high-profile figures like Oprah and The Rock. The People's Fund of Maui, while initially hailed as a beacon of hope, soon came under the microscope. One of the primary concerns that emerged was the discrepancy between the funds that were reportedly collected and the actual amount that reached the victims. While the initiative promised direct financial assistance, many of the affected residents reported receiving aid that was significantly less than what they had expected. This raised questions about where the rest of the money was going and whether the fund was truly serving its intended purpose. Further adding to the skepticism was the revelation about the salaries of the nonprofit executives managing the fund. It came to light that a substantial portion of the donations was being used to compensate these executives, some of whom were earning figures that seemed exorbitant, especially in the context of a disaster relief fund. This information, when juxtaposed with the struggles of the wildfire victims, painted a concerning picture. The public's realization of these issues sparked debates and discussions about the ethics and transparency of charitable endeavors. Many began to question the true intentions behind such initiatives and whether they were genuinely designed to help those in need or if they served as veiled opportunities for personal gain. In the face of adversity, the public's trust in charitable institutions is paramount. However, revelations like these underscore the importance of accountability and transparency, ensuring that goodwill is not overshadowed by questionable practices. The true impact of any disaster relief initiative can best be gauged by listening to the voices of those directly affected. In the case of the People's Fund of Maui, while the intentions seemed noble, the testimonies from the victims painted a more nuanced picture. Many of the Maui natives who had hoped for substantial support from the fund shared their stories of disappointment. They spoke of their initial optimism, fueled by the promises made by the fund, only to be met with minimal financial aid. Some described the assistance they received as a mere drop in the ocean, insufficient to cover even basic rebuilding costs. Families who had lost their homes, belongings, and in some cases their livelihoods, found themselves grappling with the harsh reality of inadequate support. Adding to the sense of disillusionment was the perceived disparity in aid distribution. Testimonies highlighted a stark contrast between the assistance provided to the elites and that given to the common residents. While certain high-profile individuals and properties seemed to receive prompt and substantial support, many ordinary residents felt sidelined. Stories emerged of luxury estates getting swift aid, while neighboring local homes waited in limbo. This perceived preferential treatment further widened the trust gap between the fund organizers and the general public. In the age of social media and instant communication, public perception can be both a boon and a bane for any initiative. For the People's Fund of Maui, spearheaded by influential figures like Oprah and The Rock, the public's gaze was particularly intense. As details emerged and testimonies from the affected became public, the perception began to shift, raising questions about the fund's true beneficiaries and its distribution practices. A growing sentiment emerged among the public that the fund, despite its noble intentions, seemed to disproportionately benefit the wealthy and elite. Stories of luxury estates receiving prompt and substantial aid, while ordinary homes and families waited, fueled this perception. The idea that the fund was more attuned to the needs of the rich, possibly due to their influence or status, began to gain traction. This sentiment was further exacerbated by reports of high-profile individuals receiving aid swiftly, while many common residents felt overlooked. The aftermath of the Maui wildfires saw a surge of support and aid pouring in, with the People's Fund of Maui being one of the most prominent initiatives. However, as the distribution of aid began, discrepancies started to emerge, leading to a wave of criticism and skepticism. Public platforms, especially social media, played a pivotal role in amplifying these concerns. Posts, tweets, and stories highlighting the disparity in aid distribution began to circulate, painting a picture of a fund that seemed to favor the elite over the average resident. Eyewitness accounts and personal testimonies on these platforms gave credence to these claims, with many sharing their experiences of feeling sidelined or overlooked. Community gatherings, too, echoed these sentiments. Town hall meetings and local forums became venues where residents voiced their frustrations. Stories of luxury properties receiving swift and substantial aid while neighboring local homes were left waiting became all too common. These narratives painted a stark contrast, leading many to question the fund's priorities. The crux of the criticism revolved around the apparent preferential treatment. Why were certain individuals or properties prioritized over others? Was the fund truly committed to its promise of helping all victims, or were there underlying biases at play? Such questions became the focal point of discussions, with many feeling that the fund's actions did not align with its stated objectives. Moreover, the very essence of a relief fund is to provide support to those most in need. However, the emerging narrative suggested a deviation from this principle. The growing sentiment was that while the elites received prompt assistance, the common residents, who arguably needed the support more, were left navigating bureaucratic hurdles and delays. In a world where celebrity influence can sway public opinion and mobilize resources at an unprecedented scale, the role of charitable initiatives spearheaded by these figures becomes all the more significant. The People's Fund of Maui, with its promise of direct aid to wildfire victims, is a testament to the potential impact such endeavors can have. However, as the events unfolded, it also became a cautionary tale about the pitfalls of such initiatives. Transparency is the bedrock of any charitable effort. Without it, even the most well-intentioned initiatives can come under scrutiny and face public backlash. The discrepancies in aid distribution, the perceived favoritism towards the elite, and the growing sentiment of distrust all underscore the importance of maintaining transparency at every step. It's not just about collecting funds. It's about ensuring that every penny goes to those who truly need it. Furthermore, celebrities with their vast reach and influence have a heightened responsibility. Their actions, both on and off the stage, are closely watched and can set precedents. When they champion a cause or launch an initiative, they must ensure that their efforts genuinely benefit the intended recipients. It's not just about the optics or public relations, it's about making a tangible difference in people's lives. In conclusion, while the People's Fund of Maui brought to light the challenges of celebrity-led charitable initiatives, it also serves as a reminder. A reminder that genuine impact requires more than just resources. It demands transparency, integrity, and a steadfast commitment to the cause. Only then can such efforts truly resonate with the public and bring about lasting